Halo is in a very dire spot right now. And as a very, very dedicated fan to not only the games, but the franchise as a whole, I'm absolutely let down right now. I'm absolutely let down with the direction of Halo Infinite, and I'm very let down with the direction of the franchise in general. I think one of the things that really makes me feel the way I feel right now and why I've come out of the woods to make a video about this is that I'm tired of developers and publishers absolutely disrespecting me as a gamer and having that mentality of you think you do but you don't mentality, the old WoW classic line. And I'm tired of developers and publishers looking at statistics and game trends and what's popular right now and saying, you know what, this is what this franchise needs or this is what this game needs. And it absolutely falling flat on its face. And us as a community basically looking at it and saying, look, we told you guys this wasn't going to work. Halo Infinite had a really great start. It released the multiplayer early. It was a very great foundation. They released the campaign. It was a really great start to something that was going to be bigger than Halo itself. And in reality, what we got was nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're getting content released that has either already been in other games or should have already been in the game at launch. And this has put Halo in a very weird spot right now. Halo Infinite will always have a negative taste in players' mouth every time they announce a new update because they chose to release the game incomplete. And there are several features in the game that, due to the way that Microsoft hired employees at 343 Industries in regards to contract employees, there are a lot of people who have worked on core parts of this game that probably don't work at 343 Industries anymore. And even though some of them may have the ability to come back up because the cooldown on their contract is over, they probably have moved on to other projects already and have no intention of coming back to work on this dumpster fire. Because of that, we're seeing features like Forge, split screen, the desync issue that's happening right now being delayed because either new developers need to come on board and learn the engine and learn all these different algorithms that were designed by people who worked at the company for 2 years and left. In some cases, possibly may even needing to rewrite a lot of that code. In some cases, having to restart projects from the ground up just to be able to meet deadlines, which they're not even meeting in the first place. This ultimately has put Halo Infinite in a position where, again, no matter what you say about the game, no matter what updates you schedule, no matter what updates you release, people will critique it because we still don't have Forge, we still don't have split screen, we still don't have a working customs browser, things that shouldn't have been in the game at launch. So at the end of the day, one of the big things I need to stress to 343 Industries is that you need to really watch what you say. You need to come at every announcement. You need to come at every single community statement from the perspective of you are already off on a bad foot. And this rolls into the other thing that I've noticed about 343 Industries, and this may not be the case, and I'm not going to say that every developer feels this way, but there's this trend right now in the industry of developers who grow this ego where they're almost like against the community. They're upset at the community because they've been hyped up by their employers to be told, look, you're working on this big IP. You're part of this movement, this trend now that is Halo. And the reality is, and I'm going to say this, and I'm sure a lot of people may disagree, but no matter how many games 343 Industry releases, no matter how much of a mark they leave on this franchise, they will always be the torchbearers at the end of the day. They will always be the one who is the caretaker of Halo. And nothing you can do, nothing you release, and nothing you say will change that at the end of the day. And a lot of you at 343 Industries, when you talk to the community, need to understand that we still see you as torchbearers, even though maybe in your workplace or maybe in your own mind, you think that you are Halo now. You think you are a part of this trend. You made this trend. And that's just not the case at the end of the day. We're never going to see it that way. And I think that's where I want to just directly address 343, how I feel about you guys. I feel like you guys have messed up your time management. I think that Microsoft has let you guys mess up your time management for too long. You're constantly changing your roadmaps, you're constantly changing release dates, and at the end of the day, I don't think you guys understand what really makes Halo Halo. When I see a developer on stream say that Halo is competitive, and the only way that they can sum up Halo CE's multiplayer, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll assume he was just talking about the multiplayer. If he can only say that it was competitive, he's missed the whole fucking picture. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I don't want somebody like that working on this project if that's how they see the game. Because at the end of the day, Halo was never about being competitive. There were people that took this fun, wacky game and found a way to make it competitive using customs, using Forge. You know, it's funny when I see pro players having gentlemen's agreements about what weapons they should use and what weapons they shouldn't. I think that's really great. I think that's a great way for the pro scene to figure out how to balance the weapons by just deciding which weapons are competitive and which aren't. I don't expect a gravity hammer to be balanced so that it fits well in competitive play and is quote unquote fair. I should be able to destroy anything I come across when I have a gravity hammer in my hand, or a rocket launcher, or a sniper rifle, or a shotgun. I don't like this emphasis on competitive play, this emphasis on balance, because that's never what Halo was. When we played Halo 1, when we played Halo 2, when we played Halo 3, we never said, wow, they should nerf this gun. We would just say, wow, that gun's overpowered. I need to use that. I need to get to that spawn before they do. It was the timing that mattered. It wasn't the balance. It was whatever weapon you were holding in your hand. That's what made you the better player at the end of the day. And then when people learned how to time that, that's when it became more competitive. At the end of the day, look, you can say what you want about Halo being competitive, but I think the other thing you need to keep in mind is that competitive Halo is a small branch on one of the pillars of Halo that is campaign, custom games, multiplayer, and Forge. You're talking to such a small part of the audience, and you're that surprise Pikachu face when people are lashing out at you, complaining that, you know, competitive is not the focus here. It's not, and we're upset about this. And my fear is that a good portion of development time is being put into a battle royale that's probably going to eventually release into this game. And you're creating a brand new pillar in this game that is 100% focused on competitive play. You're still focusing on these small individual communities in Halo, and it still feels, while you keep saying that you don't forget the social side, it feels like you are. Your update map shows that you don't care about Forge enough to move the custom browser up in your roadmap. If you had any sense of where this game was going and what it needed, Forge and the customs browser should be right next to each other on the roadmap. Things like match XP, things like in-game reporting, all that kind of stuff, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed, and that should not be flagship features for updates. It's embarrassing that you have to tell people that these are things that you're releasing on an update roadmap. This game, at the end of the day, just doesn't even feel like a live service anymore. It feels like a Kickstarter. It's keep buying microtransactions, and we promise we'll keep adding features. But oh no, if you stop buying the Battle Pass, if you stop buying armor cores, if you stop buying little sprays, well, maybe you won't get your report feature. Maybe you won't get your match XP feature. Maybe we'll just delay Forge again. That's what this feels like. And you can say that's not how it feels, but for the people who have sat here and spent money on this game already and still feel like they haven't gotten a return, that's how we feel. And it's absolutely embarrassing that you guys continue to go on stream and you continue to talk to us and bring us bad news and act like this isn't happening and putting on the "we're sorry" face. You guys need to do what Hello Games did with No Man's Sky. You guys need to just shut up, stop communicating with us, and make some actual progress instead of rewriting roadmaps and trying to trickle feed us content so that we stay interested until these updates come out. You guys need to just release Forge. So what if it crashes the game? If you tell people to beta, you tell people to expect that, they won't care. I'm growing tired of seeing maps on Twitter being leaked to the public. You've got that Toy Story map. You've seen remakes of old maps from Halo 2 and 3. And it reminds me of when I used to see stuff like that on YouTube when I was playing Halo 3. And you know what I was able to do back in the day when I saw stuff like that? I went ahead and I went into Halo 3 and I found it on FileShare and I started playing it. And I can't do that right now. I'm getting frustrated because I'm seeing other people test these maps on their own. And I keep telling myself, wow, it's going to be so fun someday to play this with my friends. And then I remember all of my friends that do play Halo don't even play Halo anymore because they don't want to support 343 Industries. They don't want to continue to support this development structure, this time management, and the way that Microsoft manages it all. So I ask you 343, and I ask you Microsoft, I want to play your game. I do. And trust me, when you guys fix the game and it all comes around and, you know, everything's right, I'll play. But my question to you is how do I convince my friends who aren't as forgiving as I am? My friends who used to only talk about this game when I was in high school. My friends who used to stay up with me late at night to play customs with. How am I going to convince these people who you have spat on, who you have basically made fools of by trying to have them defend your product, defend your studio, defend your publisher? How do I convince these people that you guys have changed and that them coming back is not only going to be worth their time, but worth their money? Because I'm done trying to convince my friends of these dumb live service games that just can't get their shit together. I'm tired of having to be that friend. For example, like now, I'm playing Battlefield 2042, and the only reason why I'm playing it is because I got a key for free because I did consulting work for EA. But I can't convince any of my friends to play Battlefield with me because none of them want to pay the $60 price to get in or pay a monthly subscription to the EA Plus. At the end of the day, you're trying to get me to sell your game to my friends to play with me. Because a lot of these people are saying they're not going to come back when Forge comes out. They're not going to come back when the customs come out. They just tell me, look, that ship has sailed. And they're not confident that you guys are going to keep up with the game long enough. My advice to 343 Industries and Microsoft is you need to diversify your studios throughout Halo. Like I said, I did consulting work for EA, so I'm a little biased in that respect, but I like what Battlefield did today. They came out and they said, look, we're going to have a studio focus on campaign. We're going to have DICE focus on the multiplayer. We're going to have Ripple Effect Studios, which used to be DICE LA, focus on creating a new Battlefield experience, a possible free-to-play experience, if the rumors are to be believed. You know, at the end of the day, you guys fucked up. And you're still fucking up. But you're not showing me that you guys are fucking up. You're not being transparent enough to show that you're fucking up. And I think that's what you need to do. You need to make a choice. You either need to pull the Hello Games and just stop talking and show results and let the results speak for themselves, or you need to just start being honest with us. Why is the desync issue not being prioritized? Be honest with us. Pull a Yoshi P from Final Fantasy XIV. Give us the details. Talk to us like we're gamers. And maybe then we'll understand. If we understand the fact that, you know, the desync issue is in a part of the engine that, you know, the person who worked on it is no longer with the company, and, you know, you're trying to maybe rework the network code from the ground up. Be honest about that. We'll understand. If you tell us and you explain to us why this is such a monumental challenge to us, and saying, you know, look, this is why it's going to take this long and this is why we have to delay it, that would be so much better. Instead of, when in talking about the local co-op mode, going, oh, well, we need to reallocate the resources to other things. That's corporate talk. You need to stop talking to us like we're a corporate entity or an investor. We are your player base. If you're honest with us, we can empathize with you. But the way that you talk to us, the way that you treat us, it just doesn't feel like you guys care. You're there for your paycheck and nothing else. At Microsoft, you really need to fix your hiring practices. There should never be contract workers working on a live service game. They should be full-time employees who are getting paid very well, who are getting the time off that they need, and they shouldn't be crunching for features. That's all I got to say. I had to make this video because I'm pissed off. I need somewhere to express these feelings. I'm not happy right now. And I want to be. I should be right now. Because right now, Halo Infinite should be the game that I was promised. And it still isn't. And you know what? I'm afraid that it never will be. I'm afraid that they're going to move on to the next project before this even gets done. That's all. This is my Ren's rant on Morning Coffee with Ren. See y'all next time.